Happy Saturday.
Surprise.
Here we are. Welcome to In Your Circle. Today, there's an auction going on over on Blue Zombie Morphs. So they're raising money for Ken, who's been traveling back and forth, taking care of his daughter, bringing her to appointments. So if you want to go over and watch that and come back and check out the replay over here instead, it's a great cause to raise money for Ken and his daughter. And there's always the replay. Just make sure that you comment so that we know that you're here. Got people in the chat.
We do.
Dickie Foster came in like 3 hours ago to make a comment. So Dickie was the first one by far. And Will is not only backstage, but also in the chat. So he wins extra points. Wiz was here. Keys is here now. And Jared's here. And who knows who else will pop in as we start talking. You have anything to say?
Let's bring Will out. Yeah, let's everybody's here for the guest. Let's bring him out.
But he has so many names.
I know. And nobody announces him better than Wiz.
I know. You've got Paris Wilton,
Amish Will.
Post Malone.
I think we might be missing a couple.
I don't know. We can make up a new one on the fly too.
Let's ask Will.
What one did we miss, Will?
I think that's all of them.
Okay.
There's probably another one that's going to be floating around. The day that I messaged and said Post Malone, that was all Kurt.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're a couple face tattoos short, but it was pretty darn close.
I
think that was the first thing I said. So like, I think I need to get some face tattoos. Right. It's like, no, you don't.
No, really stay away from that.
Yeah, because then that leads to smoking 80 darts a day. That's what he said on one of his last interviews. I was like, man, that's a lot of cigarettes a day.
Yeah, no way.
80?
Mm-hmm.
Cigarettes are gross.
That's terrible.
That's a lot of cigarettes a day.
Yeah.
One is too many for me, clearly.
Yeah, I can't do it.
How are you doing today, Will?
Not too bad. It's
good.
It's always good when I'm off of work, but it's always a good day at work too.
Oh, you've got a nice shirt on over there today.
Shout out to the big homie, Wiz.
The Wiz Constrictor shirt.
Yeah.
Kurt, you've got your...
I got US Arc.
Yeah.
And I got my
US Arc.
Brand new Daenerys Mother of Spiders shirt, which has this really cool... Kurt's going to have to tell me if it's in the thing.
The shot.
Yeah. But check out... See if you can see the back of it.
There you go.
Look how cool this is.
Gotta go that way a little.
This way?
There you go.
Nice. I like
Isn't that nice?
Mm-hmm.
It's really comfy. It'll be my new go-to shirt. I love it. Plus, they've got a really good... they don't have a Patreon, but they have an Instagram group, and their Instagram group is really great and hilarious.
Nice.
Their big thing is don't be a salty peanut. Don't be a jerk.
Yeah, they got a lot of cool stuff to do.
So I don't know if you're into spiders, but Brian is into spiders now. So that's exciting from Heathen Hatchery.
Not too much into spiders. I've always kind of been afraid of them until like recently, past Tinley. I finally got over the fear of holding them. But I like scorpions. Scorpions are cool.
Oh, see? Scorpions still scare me a bit, but
Will would be right up there with all that stuff Larry and Randall pick up. They pick up all the crazy looking insects.
Yes, and then bring them over to show them to us, which is really great because it conquers my fear. Like the whiptail scorpion they got.
Okay. Yeah.
Can't remember if
Thing
it was
looks
Larry or
like
Randall.
something out of a movie.
Yeah,
Those are they look
like,
crazy.
What do you have in that cup there? Well, it's just a whip-tailed scorpion. Like, oh my gosh. That's
I'll
insane.
do scorpions. I might try spiders soon, but I can't do like the millipedes and stuff like that. Those things are creepy.
No, tarantulas are they're awesome. They don't bark. It's not like a dog. So yeah, they are pretty easy and they're really beautiful. Yeah. You don't have to hold them either. That's the thing, right? Like they can just live happily in their enclosure.
As a display item.
But they are fast. So you do have to note that.
That's also scary.
Yeah. I've watched so many like rehousing videos that when I got our new tarantula cribs to rehouse our spiders into so that they could move on to a bigger enclosure, I was like, this is so easy. You take the little paintbrush and you take the enclosure and you just sweep it into it. And I opened the lid and it was little and it ran up my arm. And I'm in the kitchen just yelling for help, like someone could save me. Just yelling, help, get in here, help me.
That's what I would do.
Really scared of spiders, but they're growing on him. I got it in its enclosure.
Yeah.
But really, if a little tiny thing like that took off, it's really surprising how fast they are. I mean, 8 legs, you would expect something to run very fast, but
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
the only concern
exceptionally
would
quick.
be finding it again.
We'd never find it again, ever. Keys said he had to retract his hello to Angel because Angel is not here. Angel has gotten really busy, and his wife is doing, I think she's working sometimes on the weekends
She
now.
works
So
pretty much
he
every weekend.
is on kid duty. So
Nice.
So
Sounds like
it's
he's holding
just
down
us.
the fort.
yeah, we're holding down the fort. It's still a circle
Right.
Nice.
without
He's still in there.
He
He's
is.
just
Right.
in
Yeah,
spirit. He's there with
exactly.
us.
we can feel the presence.
We can. Look, Billy is here and James popped in
What up? What up?
and Bosa's here.
What up, Bosa?
Got some great
So we
people
can
here.
see a bunch of stuff behind you. What kind of projects are you working?
Not too much. Not too much and a lot at the same time. Kind of weird. But I'm working clown stuff like everybody. Got some Krypton stuff. Trying to do some Ultramil clowns and Kryptons. I got DG and Hypo wrapped up in there as well in the same project. And then Puzzle and I believe Monsoon kind of fell into my lap this year. So I'm working on producing some visuals there.
Nice.
That's exciting.
Like you said, a lot, but not at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I got a small collection. This is all I got. So I got a male or 2 and 3, 4 females for each project. And then the cool thing is that they kind of all fit in together with each other too. So as I produce stuff, I can use my own productions to pair with other productions and keep going.
Yep, the mix and match works great.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you've got the ideal setup too.
Definitely.
It's somebody Will did their homework or his homework and got good advice.
Definitely. Yeah, I definitely did. Thank God I did early on too. Because when I first got into it, did the same thing everybody else did, just first kind of learning about ball pythons and seeing all the morphs for the first time. And so I was buying, like single gene animals and thinking, making bells and stuff like that was going to be the answer, which it could be for some people if that's what you want to do. But very early on, I came across Billy from Mutation Creations videos and the Breeder 123 videos, and right away I turned around from there and switched up my collection and picked out what kind of projects I wanted to do and stuff like that.
That's good that you came across those early on. We came across them a year in. We're like, oh my God, we did everything wrong. Fix it all now fast. So
I came in across them maybe a little bit less than a year in. And I already had pairings for that season going and grabbing females. So as soon as they laid and stuff, I switched everything up.
yeah. Then did you have to sell a lot of stuff or did you just have to redo pairings for what you had already?
No, I pretty much sold just about everything. Yeah.
Yep, started from scratch. That's pretty much the same route that we had to take, or we did take, I guess I should say.
Yeah,
Thank
we had
goodness
some
we
stuff
did.
we'd picked up.
My first pairing of my first clutch was visual xanthic to visual xanthic, so that was not too bad for first clutch. So
yeah, no, that's not bad at all.
They were only xanthic spiders, but
still cool looking.
Yeah, they were nice. The female I had was a really, really nice example. of a Xanthic spider. Like she was gorgeous
And easy to identify then.
Yeah, especially for first starting out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got 3 spider VPIs and then 3 just regular normal VPIs. It was just a VPI male to a VPI spider female.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd say so. It's better than what we did, Will. We took 2 snakes and then put them together and then had to figure out what they all were. Because there was a whole lot of stuff going on in there.
Yeah. And I feel like one of the clutches we had wasn't the male or female hadn't been identified 100% accurately, because we ended up getting some very weird stuff out of it.
Yes.
Not like Dinker style, but just
there was just another
unexpected
something in there.
I took a gamble on that clutch actually too, because the male, I got him off a girl that was local to me off of Facebook, and he was like kind of like on the browner side, and he was in blue at the time too, so he really was kind of brown looking. She said he was a VPI Xanthic. I was like, okay. And then the female I got for free from my local pet store from the owner that ran that place. So he gave me the female. He just said Xanthic. He didn't know what kind. So I was like, well, let's see what happens. And it turned out.
Worked out well then.
Yep.
You did it very right from the beginning, which is good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You get the golden star for today.
Gold star for the weekend. We're gonna give it for the whole weekend.
Okay.
You can't just give a gold star for one day.
I took the whole clutch and I turned around and gave it back to the owner of the pet shop so he could return the favor and let him make some money.
Oh, that's great.
Heck yeah.
And is the pet store still there, hopefully?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Yep.
thank goodness.
Yep.
A lot of
It's
places.
called The Pet Shop in Mattoon, Illinois.
Nice. I feel like
Super
a lot of
cool.
places come and go in the reptile
Yeah.
pet store arena, at least around
Yeah,
here.
definitely. It's a slow market sometimes, especially with Morph Market, and then sometimes you gotta worry about local competition and stuff like that too. So
Yeah, especially with Palm Street coming up, and there's a storefront function on Husbandry Pro. There's becoming more outlets online.
yeah,
But definitely Morph Market's hard to beat. They just have quite
It's
the reach.
hard for him because, for one, it's a small town, so there's not a lot of people. And then not a lot of people are into reptiles as much as they are like more common pets as it is.
Yeah.
And then he's got PetSmart right down the street from him, where everybody can get whatever they want at a much lower price, and he can get it from his wholesaler. So
Yeah, and then if you don't know what you're buying, you tend to think that the PetSmart things, they must be well taken care of and in good shape, and that's not always the case.
no,
Some of those do take good care of their animals, but some do.
yeah, some of them try.
Yeah.
Yeah. More often than not, you hear the horror stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard actually inside that sometimes the employees or the managers try to do more, especially for the reptiles, or make their enclosures right, and basically the corporate only allows them to do so much and provide so much and whatnot like that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then it all.
They have a certain guideline of how they want them to set things up and whether it's right or wrong.
We've also heard that
We have to.
through some of the people we knew that used to work there.
Yeah,
That's sad, isn't it?
it definitely is.
At least ours don't have to go to PetSmart.
Absolutely.
On
you
the
have-
brighter side, though, a lot of people kind of know that information now,
Yeah.
and then so they turn to the smaller pet shops or reptile pet shops or Morph Market, and that helps us out. So
It's true. Yeah, because when you go into one of those bigger pet stores and it just says fancy ball python, what's a
Right,
fancy?
Right.
What morph is a fancy? I don't know.
you're on Facebook an hour later. What do you guys think this is?
Yes.
Yep, we've all seen those posts.
Is my normal really a normal?
Yeah,
It is really a normal.
it
In
is.
fact, it is. How many clutches do you think you'll have this year, Will? Or what would you hope for?
I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have about 10.
That's a good
So,
number.
yeah, definitely a big difference from my previous years. The first 2 years I had 3, so
That's good.
yeah. 10, it might end up being a couple more. Depends on if the females go or not, but I'm thinking it's gonna be around 10.
For you, what is your most anticipated one or most exciting one that you're looking forward to this year?
The one I'm looking forward to the most or anticipated is probably my I don't know what's the right words. The least prestigious pairing. But I'm trying to make a Super Disco Ultramel.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
that'll be fun.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's produced one yet. As far as I know, there's only a small handful of visual disco Ultramels. So I'm trying to go for the Super. I
That'll
think
be
it'll
fun.
look pretty cool.
We got our first disco stuff this year.
Yeah. We're transitioning everything away from fire. So we're gonna go vanilla and disco.
We got our
Nice.
disco from Darren, right?
Yeah.
Sloan Morphs.
Nice.
Mr. Butt Cheeks.
There
Or Mr. Cheeks, sorry. Lace's butt cheeks. Darren's cheeks. There's a lot of butts. Just gotta
is.
remember.
There is.
Just a very strange thing, really, when you think about it.
A little bit.
Why are there so many butts? I don't know.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things with disco is it's got a viable super. It's not an all white snake.
Right. I knew like early coming in that I wanted to work with disco. I didn't know where I was going to be going with it or what I was going to be doing with it. But I knew I wanted to do disco, and I seen it. I thought it was cool. I liked the super. And then it was different from working fire or vanilla, which seemed like everybody else was doing. So
Absolutely.
I wanted to work with the less popular genes. That's something I wanted to do from the beginning.
I had never seen fire and black pastel together until today when Lace and I did our recording for tomorrow's episode with Taylor from Pacific Coast Pythons, and he has some fire, black pastel, lots of other things, and that was pretty cool to see. Because
That's a nice reaction.
Yeah, really changes it up. Have you seen fire and black pastel together?
I can't say I have seen black pastel and fire, but I've seen other dark genes with fire.
Did you like it?
Like GHI fire stuff looks cool.
There you go.
Yeah. It's a nice contrast going.
But I can't help think that it would look better with disco because there's more pattern.
Yeah.
That's true. And then you don't get the white snake, like you were saying.
Right.
That's the part I keep forgetting about. I'm like, but it's beautiful.
And it's like Will just said, everybody has fire. I mean, it's hard to find somebody that doesn't have fire in their collection.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hopefully they have heat in their collection.
The thing I find troubling about working disco, though, is when you're looking for animals on Morph Market, almost everybody's stuff is disco / fire, and they don't, got both in the pairing, and they don't know what they got and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to find animals you want to work with and still shy away from that at the same time.
Yeah, because you could have one copy, it could have both. I mean, you never know.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Vanilla is the same way. When most of them are vanilla or fire or the combination of both, and I can't remember what they call that. If only Angel was here, he'd be able to tell you.
Yeah. We need a hologram of Angel
Right.
that can answer all the questions.
Like the
He's a
hologram Tupac.
Yeah. we
Yeah.
need a hologram of Angel. It needs to happen right here in the middle. Can
Nice.
just be here. No, I can't think of it either. I know one thing that we really had to think of when we refined all of our collection was not having pairings or not really having a male that had anything that would pair back to make a white snake,
Yes.
Yeah.
which is hard because I love Mojave.
And the other thing we did was we tried to not get cinnamon or black pastel in a male.
Yeah.
Something that you could pair back to a female if you paired it, and stay out of that 8-ball complex.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
I've
agree.
heard-
It's probably better to have it in a female.
Yeah. Chris Hernan's been talking about how Blackhead, he thinks, takes out some of those possibilities for like kinking and stuff. So that would be interesting to watch more of that. See.
That is
As the
interesting.
years goes on.
Yeah, because he was talking the other day on, I think it was Phil's show with Phil and Dreadnought, about how he wonders if you could put a Blackhead in a champagne combo, if you could make super champagnes that were actually viable. So it'd be interesting.
That would be interesting.
I feel like somebody was talking about another gene besides Blackhead that
That does that.
that had the possibility to fix it. But I
don't
know
what it
I know
is.
people have been talking Blackhead for a while.
Because what
Which-
is it that Chris puts the Blackhead in that normally would have kinked? Why can't I think of it right now?
I don't know.
It's the 8-ball stuff, isn't
Yeah,
it?
black pastel maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's probably got Barnhart black pastel.
Yeah. But it's nice to know that there's something out there, which makes you wonder, will there be more things? Probably, right? Will
Probably.
we stumble upon something else that fixes it? You never know. Until you try.
Yeah, right.
And then
That's
it can
one
all
thing I've
be,
liked about getting into this. It's like something new information, new stuff coming out every day.
yeah.
It's hard to keep up with everything. It's
No,
almost impossible.
it's so easy. You just watch all the YouTube videos all day long and
Yes.
never sleep.
That's what I do.
You really do. You're all over the place.
I'm so grateful for all the shows because I have like all the streaming services. I pay for all of them, and there's still nothing I want to watch. And all the stuff I do want to watch is like not on any of them. So it's, well, guess I'm watching live.
Yeah.
Yep.
And on the Whiskey Bomb Network, you can't go wrong because you always have something to watch.
Yep, 7 days a week.
I know. I was
Sometimes
so
multiple times a day.
I know.
Yeah.
I was so bummed because this morning I didn't get to do Starting to Pit, which is where I usually am on every other Saturday. But I didn't get to do it. Now I haven't even gotten to watch the replay yet. Got to go back and watch
Yeah.
that. I feel like I'm really having FOMO today.
Yeah, you've been bouncing all over the place today.
I've been everywhere today.
I gotta
I
catch
know.
the replay too. It's on when I'm at work, unfortunately, but at the same time, it's cool because then it gives me stuff to watch later.
No, I went and I looked up the kiddo that was on today. And it just makes me want to go back and watch it even more. I can't remember. My brain is mush today. I'm like, what was the name even? I can't even remember the name.
I knew it wasn't going to be good today because last night she was spacing out, staring at snake tubs. I'm going, oh man, we're going to have a rough go.
Yeah, I just kept saying, I need to go to bed now. I need to go to bed. But never can you get to bed at the time when you say I need to go to bed.
No, especially with a
No.
5-year-old.
No. And then he's been into this video game called Castle Crashers, which is a fun game. But as soon as as soon as the 5-year-old's eyes open, it's, I'm ready to play the video game now. Please, for the love of Pete. Not
Yeah.
already. It's 7 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, whatever it is. The first day, Will, that he had really gotten into the video game, Kurt was working. It was a Saturday morning, and he woke up at 5:30, and he was like, "The sun's out. It's time to be awake. Let's go play, Mom." Like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Then I swear for like an hour and a half, I just kept saying, 5 more minutes. Just give me 5 more minutes. And then every minute or 30 seconds, it was, how many more minutes now? How many more minutes now? I was so exhausted. I should have just gotten up at 5:30 in the morning. It would have just been, it just would have been better and smarter. What are you doing this weekend?
I'm
Besides
cleaning
working.
some ASFs and probably just catch up on all the replays and stuff like that. Might go hiking either tomorrow or Monday. Maybe Monday.
Nice.
That's nice. Then you're having good weather out your way. Remind me where you are.
I'm in Chicago.
Okay.
So on Monday it's supposed to be like 85 here. So
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a drastic change from the snow. I feel like that was only a couple weeks ago it was snowing.
yeah, it actually did snow once a couple weeks ago.
Oh my gosh.
We're transitioning right now from it being like kind of cold, like 30s, 40s every day to 70s ish, 60s,
Oof.
70s. So it's time for all the snakes to start coming out and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go probably do some field herping.
I was talking the other day. We see like one garter snake a year here. I swear.
Yeah, we also have invasive owls.
Oh, yeah.
So that's probably
They probably eat them.
yeah.
So they hide
I had
really
owls
well.
by my old house, but not up here.
Oh, it's crazy. These things are they're called barred owls. They're about 2.5 to 3 feet tall.
Oh,
They're huge.
They're really pretty. But what happened is we used to have, what are they, the spotted owls
Spotted
here,
owls,
which are
yeah.
smaller. And
Mhm.
then we got really excited when we moved here because we saw one of the barred owls and we thought it was a spotted owl. And then I looked him up and I think it's like one of these owls has to have its own huge amount of acreage, and they will kill any other owl that's not a spotted owl within its parameters. So they've
wow.
like killed all of the other owls that are out here. Yeah.
Yeah, they decimate
awful.
everything.
That's crazy.
And they have no fear. They will just like, one day our son was looking outside and he was like right outside our window and he was like, look at mommy, look at the bunny. And then the next day we walked outside and he was like, what is all this fur? Because it had been right there. I remember I like looked out the window that night and I was like, there is an owl sitting right outside our window. They have no shame. They're very opportunistic. And now I walk outside and I'm like, run away, rabbits. Save yourself.
Yeah.
This
When
is
we
not
had
No, I'd be
chickens,
grabbing
they
my
were
kid like a football, stiff arming my wife, like, go, run.
Yeah. Kurt's right. When we had chickens, we had the bird netting over the top of the chickens so nothing could get in because we knew the owls were going to be a problem. But they
Right.
would just like, we had this one like fence post leaning up against a tree.
It's a 2x2.
And
just
it would
sitting on the
just
tree.
come sit on the top of the fence post that was leaning against the tree. And it would like you would walk right by and there it would be sitting there
Yeah, you
looking
could
at
get
you.
4 feet. Like it was nuts.
I want to live. I love owls, but when they get that close and you're like, I
Yeah.
don't know about you. I don't know about you. I think I had one of the gals that I work with. She was out on a walk one day, thinking it was an owl. And it was an owl. And she was on a jog and she was going for a jog and an owl attacked her, like flew down and she
no.
ended up having to go to the doctor because it cut her scalp.
Got
Apparently
close
they
to the
get
nest.
very territorial.
Yeah.
So that unlocked a new fear. Every time I'm walking out to the rat shack, I'll hear this like scratch on one of the sheds when I walk by on the roofs. And I'm like, this is my moment. I'm going down.
crazy.
It's that owl. It's coming to get me.
I don't know what kind of owls we had. I think they were just like common, like barn owls or whatever. But the one thing I liked about them is when you would hear the owls, you knew that probably in a couple of minutes you're going to hear the coyotes. They kind of like warned you that the coyotes were near.
That makes sense.
Where we live, you wouldn't think where we would live would have all of this, but we have the owls and we have black bears and we have the coyotes. We have beautiful deer that draw this all in, and then we have cougars and bobcats.
Nice.
Yeah.
Our neighbors
So
used to
good.
have goats. Let's put it that way. They used to
Yes.
have goats.
There's a couple
don't have-
bobcats out there, but not cougars.
Oh yeah.
They make horrible noises.
they
If
do.
you've never heard it, Google a cougar. It is the terrible, like, almost sounds like a child screaming.
Yeah.
And when coyotes grab a rabbit, it sounds crazy.
Yeah, some of those larger rabbit species make some horrible noises.
Yeah, it sounds like a horror movie.
No. We've seen the bobcat like just hanging out.
Nice.
Got it.
Sunning themselves.
We live in Washington, ANP Universe. Where we live, when we moved into this house, we were really excited because it had a beautiful forest all next to it. And the first morning we woke up in our new house, all you could hear was trees being cut down, and they logged the whole forest next to us.
What?
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
no idea it was going to happen.
I think it was like 10,000 acres or something.
It was a lot.
Ridiculous.
It's all around our house. So
Oh man,
all the animals had to go somewhere.
that sucks.
So we see the bobcat every now and then.
Moving into our house, it was kind of similar. We had a couple of acres of woods on the side of us, and then behind us, and then we only had one neighbor, and he was like kind of not too far, but a little bit like further away. And then he was surrounded by woods coming the opposite way, so it was like kind of just around our two houses. And so every morning, you'd come out in the living room, and we had big, huge glass windows and doors, and you'd see deers or turkeys or something in the yard every morning. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's like living in your own nature documentary,
Heck yeah.
which is also fun until you're walking outside and the bobcat's out there. It's just not as fun.
Bobcat doesn't bother me, but I think a cougar would. for
Yeah,
sure.
well, what's going to bother you about a cougar is you're not going to know it's there until it's there. That's
One
the
time-
problem with a cougar.
The one time I seen a cougar, I was in Arizona and we were hiking in the mountains, and we seen one definitely less than 100 yards, but more than 50 away from us. And yeah, I don't know. Just kind of kept the eye on us. We kept the eye on it and got the heck out of there.
Yeah, that's a no thank you.
That is a no thank you. A person not
Definitely.
too far away from where we live it was like morning time. They were checking their Ring camera or whatever camera they have. I think it was Ring camera. And they had 3 adult cougars walk through their yard.
Yeah,
Like,
that was a Ring camera.
yeah, that was just a couple weeks ago. I don't want that to happen in my yard.
No, not a
Don't-
cougar.
Because here's our life, as you know, we're like walking from the house all the time to go out to the rats when it's dark outside. I now start talking really loudly as I walk out there every time.
Yeah, they don't eat much.
My eulogy, I don't want it to be like eaten by a cougar while walking to the rats. I don't, just not. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time I walk out there, there's like where the trees used to be is to the left,
Mhm.
and the long driveway that belongs to our neighbor. And our neighbor will always call my in-laws and be like, "Hey, the black bear just walked out behind your shop," or
Right. They've got a really
"Hey,
nice
the
view of
cougar
area.
walked across behind your shop. Just want to give you a heads up since you have your son, and so you don't get." So now every time I walk out of the rats, the first place the flashlight goes is that way. Then it goes to the trees above me, and then I'm like, and now I'm gonna make a break for it.
Just gonna
Yeah.
have to start walking out with a bowl of pre-kills and make little peace offerings like, here,
Yeah.
kitty, here, owl.
I know. Got a rat for you.
It's an easy meal.
Yeah,
Just don't kill me.
yeah, I know. Peace offerings. That's a good idea. Can only imagine how much more delicious we look than a rat, though.
Yeah. That's,
Especially when you're scented.
you just
Yeah,
be
it's
faster
true.
than the slowest person.
Oh,
out
that
there,
one
which
comes
is me.
pre-scented. That's great.
Oh,
Right? You're right. I didn't even think about that. Forget walking out into the snakes after you go into the rat shack. You're just like a kebab walking back to the house. That one's an easy meal. It's wearing Crocs. I'll surely catch it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can never run fast in your Crocs.
She doesn't have them in 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, you gotta put it sports mode.
Exactly.
Oh, doesn't matter. I've made some graceful falls with my Crocs on. It's absolutely ridiculous. Do you raise your own rats, Will?
I do ASFs. I
Okay.
got just a couple of tubs, enough to feed my collection. So it works out pretty good. Sometimes I don't got enough grow ups. I have to go like get supplements, but I'm like right down the street from a couple of people, so
Oh,
it's
perfect.
not too bad.
That's not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Yeah, it's always hard to gauge exactly how many you're gonna need.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I'm like walking distance from like Terry of True Ball Python's house, so he helps me out sometimes, and then Juan's not a far drive away.
Oh,
He
nice.
gets me. Sometimes I'll decide to do rats or whatever, and I'll call up John and Kate from Phylogeny Reptilia. They're only a couple minutes away.
Well, that's nice. We don't have a whole lot of people like
No.
in this very close vicinity. We have Dylan and Angel that are like 2 hours away from us, and
Nice.
Andrew.
Yeah, most people are about 2.5 hours
Yeah.
away that would have excess stock.
Yeah.
Not many rat people in our local vicinity,
Mm-mm.
which would be nice because, or at least other people that need to buy them, because we are now swimming in African soft fur rats, which is a really good problem to have.
When I started out, when I lived down in Central Illinois, I got hooked up with Nate from Naughty Balls, and he did his own rats. And then I started doing the rats with him, helping him clean tubs and getting free feeders and stuff like that, doing deliveries and stuff like that. So it worked out pretty good.
Is he the
Down
one with
there, if
African
you're
soft
not
fur
doing
rats?
your own rats, you're screwed.
Yeah, is he the one with African soft fur rats too? It's not even.
Yeah, he switched everything off from Norwegians to ASS.
Yeah, and he's the one that he's built all of his own racks, right?
Yeah, really nice racks.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
the slide out drawers.
Yes.
Those
Yep.
things are beautiful.
He has an ASF army
Yes.
that he has a ton of ASF.
Yes. And he's still got some more space to.
That's
Holy
insane.
He's not like done building it yet.
But then he must have a really good customer base too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
He supplies the same pet store that I was talking about earlier.
Okay.
And then for a while we were doing rats for Levance, so that's definitely a constant,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest part, is finding the people. But then once you have them, it's good. We had a
Yeah.
couple, or at least one or two bigger like orders that would come in, but since then both of those people have gotten out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we scaled everything back because you don't need that many. It was when we were breeding all Norways then, and you're like, gosh, well, we're going through food like crazy, but don't have anybody to buy the stuff. Well, then
Right.
it's really hard sometimes to gauge how to pair back. So then we paired way too far back, and then our freezer was empty. It's like, where's the happy medium? There's no rat math calculator. It's not helping.
See, if you get rid of frozens though, that's really nice, because then I would say you don't have to worry about it as much, because you just have like your supply and then people hit you up.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to get rid of like hundreds of live, and
Yeah.
like you have to get rid of them because you got hundreds more growing up right behind them, it's a little bit
Absolutely.
harder.
Yeah. And that's our hope, is that somebody out here that will find people that want frozen ASFs. Everybody out here, not everybody, people are really starting to get more like inclined to buy ASFs, I feel like. But
Mhm.
also there's still a large group of people that are afraid that their animal will get stuck on them.
Yeah.
Haven't had it happen yet.
Nope. Gotta break that stigma. It does not happen.
Yeah, doesn't.
My snakes will go back and forth between ASFs, mice, rats. They'll eat anything. They'll eat your damn face if you stick it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
right. And you got to think about it too. Like I was out doing rats right before we came in here. You've got an adult ASF. It's like yay big.
Maybe
so
80
never
grams.
get bigger than what your snake can eat. On the other hand, I'm cleaning the Norways today and I almost had to bring him out to Kurt. I pulled a male, the big daddy, who's like 6 months old. He is like this big out of the bin.
They're
Like,
huge.
what do you even do with you, sir, later on in life? Like
Yep.
you are so big, you're the size of a chihuahua or bigger. Like
A dachshund.
he's huge. We call him our mega rat. Like he grew to weaned size by the time like he should have been a young pup, like
Oh wow.
size. And he has exceeded. I should take a picture of him. He tried to nibble me today though, not bite me, but he wanted to taste me. And I was like, if you bite me, it was like right here on my wrist. I was like, no, not gonna happen.
Bleeding out in stitches.
I know, like that is
But
not
they did
another.
not feel good.
No, it didn't. And that didn't hurt. But I was like, if he wanted to do anything more than that, which I don't think he would, but I wasn't willing to chance it.
Yeah, that's a strange thing because those whatever makes them large, all of their babies grow rapidly. We've got two colonies that have these colossal babies.
We call them our mega rats.
That's awesome.
They're like our own little experiment over here. Like what will
That's
will happen?
why I like breeding the rodents and experimenting with them too. Like I don't know, to me it's more fun than the snakes even.
I know.
You get a much quicker turnaround. You get to see results.
Yeah, you get to
That's
see.
like-
Yeah,
I feel really bad for people that don't enjoy going into the rodents because I absolutely love going out there. And Kurt knows that I will just disappear. Like we'll go out to do the rats and he'll be like, what are you doing? Focus. Like, I'll be over just holding a little rat. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
I don't know
great.
who said it, but it's
And yes to that. Line breeding, the mega rats, Ash.
we're rat breeders with a side of snakes.
That was Miggy. We're
Miggy,
we're
yeah.
rodent breeders with the side of snakes. It's true.
Okay.
You have to enjoy doing it though. Like if you hate doing the rodents, it's going to make your life absolutely miserable.
Yeah, and your
Oh,
business
yeah.
costs go up.
Yep.
But
That's
if you
gonna
can-
show in your quality and stuff like that too. And then you don't want to, you're feeding it to your snakes, so you got to keep that in mind. The hard work
Yeah.
pays off.
And then if you have enough excess to sell your feeders, then you end up paying for your rat food.
Hmm.
And then your addiction can just continue for eternity.
Yes.
So true. Just cycle it all through.
Mm.
That's what we don't really make money on the feeders, but if we can make enough money to pay for the food, then we've done our job for the time
Okay.
being.
Right.
I
You don't.
mind feeding my snakes a little extra too.
No,
Absolutely.
I love being able to do that.
Yep.
Absolutely love it. We went through a period of time where when we paired back, we were like, man, we're feeding like every other week because we didn't have enough. And now to have the ASFs and be able to be like, oh, you're hungry again? Here. Because you're
Yep.
not ending up feeding them like a large small.
Yeah.
So you can feed them smaller more often.
They have so many babies, so it's easy to just pull out whatever size you need, and you don't got to worry about if you're messing up your male and female count ratio and your holdbacks or nothing like that.
No. And the other thing that really has amazed me with the ASFs too is like Norway's, you'll get the moms because we keep our moms in the bin. So we don't do maternity tubs. So you'll
Mhm.
get the staggered moms, right? So you have like pinkies and then you have the pups, and the pups will take away the food from the pinkies. That does not happen with the ASFs.
No.
It's like the
Mhm.
pinkies still live, even though
Yeah.
there's fuzzies and hoppers in there. And that doesn't
Yep.
happen with the Norways.
No.
The bigger babies dominate,
Yeah.
take all the food. They're greedy.
And it's once they go from like a pinky to a pup, the like size difference is so significant that baby pinky Norwegians just can't work their way up, and then the moms don't have as many nipples as the ASFs to take care of all of them either.
So true.
And like you said, the size, they almost double in size from stage to stage. So the amount of milk double as well.
That's really true. I never thought about it that way. I just thought about how greedy they are. I'm like, save some for the little ones.
Yeah.
They can't get it. I've now that we have the ASFs, I've been watching them. It's like my own nature documentary when I go out there. And I've been watching the moms, how like they just like lay over top of the babies. But then another mom will come over when it's her turn, and they'll just like nudge under the other mom and like take her place. And then the other mom will go off like on her break.
Yep. She'll go get some water.
This is amazing.
Smoke break time.
Yeah. Like, give me a break from these 50 children, please.
It is super awesome.
I
love watching them.
They're so smart. It's ridiculous.
I'll just take a little green tea break and just sit there and just watch what they naturally do and stuff.
Yeah.
When you first walk over, they're all on alert, but you take some couple minutes to like calm down and forget you're there and go back to their natural behavior and stuff. But once they do, it's cool just watching each individual one and seeing what they're all doing and stuff.
Yeah, they do all have their own personalities. That is for sure. Are yours friendly?
Yeah, mine are super friendly.
Ours are not. Ours are friendly until they have babies, and then the game is over.
I've only been bitten twice, and it wasn't like a serious bite. It was kind of like one of those warning nips, and it was like protecting the babies.
Yeah. We get a lot of warning nips. I would say at least twice a day.
Yeah. My favorite is when they run at you with their mouth open. It's like you can see down their throat.
I haven't had that one. That would be scary.
God.
Ours are Kung Fu ASFs, I swear.
Yeah, they're ferocious.
And they are really friendly. Like in the grow out tub, you could stick your hand in there and like pet all of them and they just all chill. But then as soon as they become a mom,
That's crazy.
All bets are off.
Yeah, they run at you like a dinosaur. Mouth wide open.
They do. Fortunately.
When I first started out, I would get buy ASF sometimes for feeders. And it seemed like the little albino ones, the little tan color ones, were crazy, like super mean. But I got some that I raise and they're friendly. So
good. Yeah, I just think it depends on where your lines come from.
Yeah.
Here there are not like there's really only one person that originated with them, or maybe a couple, but I think they all ended up coming from the same person. So our lines are not super nice.
No.
But they are extra delicious. That's all that matters, right? Do you have any of the really dark ones? Those are my favorite.
What do you mean, like really dark?
Like their fur is really dark.
And they'll have like black ears and black spotted tails.
Like the black ones?
I think I do. I have some that they got black ears, and then the fur's not like black, but it's kind of dark. They look like field mice.
Mm-hmm.
They're solid colored. So I'm trying to do colonies of like straight those.
What's really interesting with those ones, at least over here, you can tell that they're going to be the dark ones because on their tail, they'll have little spots on their tail. And none of the other ones have spots. Yeah, it's really interesting. I started thinking at first, I thought their tails were dirty when they first popped up. And then I was like, well, I'm going to start holding those ones back with their cute little spotted tails. And then you started realizing that those were all the dark ones. It was really an interesting thing.
Is that the same thing you're talking about? Those?
Yeah, the dark ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're pretty
And
cool.
they are smaller, like Ash is saying, because I saw a couple last night in our grow out tub that were half the size of the others, and they had really dark tips on their ears and completely black tails, but they were tiny. They looked healthy, but they looked like they weren't eating, if that makes sense, size wise.
That is one thing I have noticed is that they stay smaller than the other ones.
Look at A&P Universe has Craig's slogan in there. because Craig's hanging out. Hi, Craig. Are you ready? Let's go.
Yeah. Nobody does it better.
I love that too. Every time I hear it, I get the chills. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm ready to love.
I know.
What do you got, Craig?
I know, and he says it with his little smirk too. which makes me feel better. Like, what advice am I going to get today? No, breeding rats is one of my favorite things. It's probably because it happens so much more prolifically than the snake babies.
Yeah.
Every day you can go out there and there's another batch of babies. That does not happen in the snake room.
Yeah, we were just out checking on our girls that are gravid. I think, what did we count? 5 or 6 that looked like they're about ready to lay with the wides. They have the wide scales.
Yeah.
They've pushed away all the substrate.
Nice.
We are not good at telling when they're
we're
going
the worst
to
at
lay
judging
eggs.
time.
We're just bad at it.
Disco Ultra Male female is looking like that right now. But it's also like the 6th time she's gone back and forth from looking like that. So
right?
Yeah.
So you're like, maybe
not counting my eggs until they're laid.
Exactly. And until not only until they are laid, and then you have to candle them, and then once you get the flashlight on them, then then you can count them.
Yep.
Now we've got a few females that have like the tenting going on right now. They've got the big ridge and the heavy belly. Like, when will it be? I just keep going out there and looking at them. They're probably so sick of seeing my eyeballs right now. It's ridiculous.
I feel like I saw somebody say there's 2 lines of Ultramel now.
Oh.
I've heard that too. I've heard that there's actually 3.
3.
Okay.
And who knows, there could be more. As soon as I heard about it, I was like, okay, here we go again with the DG stuff.
Like the DG all over again.
Yeah. And then Ultramel and DG are wrapped up together most of the time, a lot of time too. So it could just be the same exact allele or whatever is going on. I'm not paying attention to that stuff.
No, I think they're just calling them A, B, and C.
Oh, we're back. We're back at it again.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, as long as they're all compatible, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Are they?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Because like even with our Ultramel stuff, Royal looks a lot different than the Ultramels we got from. Oh crap!
Thinking's hard, isn't it? Thinking is very difficult.
I can see the logo. So we have 3 Ultramels. We got one from came from Canova's line.
Okay.
Look at Ash. Saw one from the wild recently. It was a sub-adult.
I've seen that. Yeah, it looks cool too.
I haven't seen that. I'm gonna have to go search for it now.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a super cool looking snake. Pause.
Ha. I've learned really good things. Like, you can't say you have a hard time. You have to say have a difficult time. I'm now learning how to autocorrect myself for less pause moments.
Vocabulary.
I am trying to be ahead of the curve.
I will say Ryan Young's line of Ultramel looks a little bit different than most of the stuff out there. It's got like a more mahogany tone.
Okay.
A little bit darker to it.
Yeah.
That's like
nice.
Our one little guy. He's darker.
Yeah.
Cypher. All of our snakes have names, Will. Do your snakes have names?
No.
No.
Not my ball pythons. My drumrolls have names, and then I haven't named my carpets yet. I'm still trying to come up with names for them.
Well, if you need help, we've named 100+, so we too can help you.
Nice.
Okay, Kurt, there's a question for you. In a 6x10 shed. This is like the math problem that we should have had as kids.
How tall is it? I'm missing a dimension.
Yes. What
is
and the
how high
ceiling?
Are you willing to go? Because you can go to the ceiling.
What size tubs are you using? And
yeah,
there's a lot of factors.
I wouldn't. If you're gonna try to do it like a DIY, I'd recommend. And then, if it's Norwegians or ASFs, because that'll change your tub sizes. But you could get, like, you could easily feed 100 snakes with it in a 6x10 shed and have proper ventilation. Like you could easily fit our Vision Ultra
I feel
rack
so bad.
in a
My brain's not working.
in a
yet.
6x10 shed. With ASFs that would it's 12 feet by 12 high.
Do a 3.
What do you mean by do a 3?
Help us. Our brains aren't working.
We're on the struggle bus. But yeah, you could easily
At least we're
fit.
together.
Um,
How big is our shed?
ours
that we had the rats
is
in first.
so that one is 10 by 16. And
I
then
had Kurt build the racks to the ceiling.
yeah.
There's minimal space in between, and build them to the sky.
Let's see where they're at now is 10 by 8 by 10, or no, maybe a little bit bigger, but it's not crazy.
No.
But yeah, you could easily do 30 30 Norwegian colonies in concrete tubs, DIY racks, and have it ventilated and heated depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
And that would, and you like we do 1 to 4, 1 to 5 colonies in that.
Yeah, with the Norways.
Have you guys tried bigger colonies than that with the ASFs?
With the ASFs, we have like 1 male to 10 females. It's insanity.
Yeah.
Never more than 1 male.
I've tried 2 males. Yeah, typically we have 2 males in a colony until 1 male starts becoming the dominant male. What about you?
So I've tried doing bigger colonies, and so my ASFs came from Nate, and he built my tubs, my racks, everything. So everything's the same. We do the same feed, everything. He can do like 2 to 13 or 3 to 15, whatever his colony size, and he just has all these babies. Every time I try it, they eat the babies. I went back down to a 1.8, and production is like going crazy. So
Yeah.
every time I try the bigger colony size, though, for me, they end up eating the babies. So, and it's not just like that first litter either. It's like a consistent, like I'll let them go for a minute to see what happens, and nothing.
That's interesting. And we have the same line of ASFs that we had the first round when we tried breeding ASFs. And it was similar for us. Like, remember they would eat each other? And then we got this. Then we ended up just being like, no more. And took a year off from ASFs, got back into it. And now, fortunately, we've had way better luck. But yeah, we've been running 2 to 10 usually. In our bigger tubs, it's like 2 to 15.
Yeah, and we used the Vision 35S tubs and the Freedom Breeder 20 something, the big square tubs.
Yeah. But I find weird too that they'll take care of them for the first day, and then the second day they'll eat them. Like right when you're waking up that morning, and they should not be pinkies, they should be fuzzies, and you're like, okay, if they get to this point, they're gonna stay alive and not get eaten. You go check, and they're all gone.
You have some weird premeditated ASFs that have like more. Like, I will get enough milk in them to make them delectable, and then I will eat them.
Yeah. So Angel was talking about that with his Norways. They're just sitting there waiting to murder.
Like one colony.
Yeah. Sometimes you get colonies that's all they want to do is they're just, oh, look, these are my babies. I don't care. I'm going to murder them.
Yeah. Some colonies do choose violence.
Yeah. So I don't know what.
That's nuts, though.
You just got to purge them all and start over.
Yeah, that's what I did. So hopefully it's working so far. Got crazy amounts of babies from these new ASFs I got. So
then it'd be interesting to take a trial colony from those ones that are doing well and try and see if you could make a bigger colony out of them, or if they do the same thing.
Yeah, it might be worth a try.
But when you have enough, and it's okay. if you're willing to experiment.
Yeah, I think we're gonna
I'm
go
always willing to
Size.
experiment.
Yeah.
to a 1 to 6.
Yeah, we're going to drop down our colony size because right now we have so many, which is a good problem to have, but we don't need that many.
Right.
Right now, everything's eating. They're still going to eat really, really, really well, but their phones always die in the most inopportune
Oh, yeah, that's
moment.
all right.
Rats and mice. I was thinking about DIY racks with Freedom Breeder tubs.
So the Freedom Breeder tubs, I don't know the sizing, but that's what we have that are the square ones that are 3.5 inch tall. They're like 20 by 20 squares. Those things work really well for mice.
Yeah. Our mice loved those when we had mice.
Yeah.
The ASFs love them too.
Yeah, and depending on what you want to do, I would with mice in that 6 by 10, you're really going to have to ventilate it well because it's going to stink.
Mice are stinky.
Even if you use PDZ, which is the ammonia absorber, it's still going to stink in there.
Just change them frequently. You just have to have extra spare time on your hands.
Yeah, extra tubs. That's what I recommend.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
A fresh set of tubs.
definitely that. Have you ever bred mice, Will?
Yeah, I tried and it didn't really work out. Plus, they were just gross and stink so bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's their urine's pretty brutal. It's
it's its own level of ick. I don't even know. We had more trouble breeding mice than we did anything until we got like the right batch of mice, and then it took off.
I was gonna say, for some reason, they're hard to get going.
To get going, you have to be really patient.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was telling us, I can't remember who it was, that if you have rats in the same vicinity as mice, they don't breed as well.
Yeah, I've heard that too. But then Jesus from Rising Sun, he said he has one rack where he has mice, Norwegians, and ASF all in the same rack, and he has no problem with any of them.
Yeah. By the end with our
So,
mice,
yeah.
before we decided to go away from mice, we were able to have, it was like that.
It was all in one.
But it took getting like the right colonies of mice to make more colonies out of.
Yeah, it seems like when you get like a feeder colony from like a pet store, they don't seem to be as hardy.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Billy asked how the Vision Rack has been. The
Vision Rack
has
is
been
great.
Excellent.
That's probably, I'm gonna say, minus the watering system, it's the best rack we have for ease of use, because the bins aren't sitting on rails like the traditional rails that they slide into. It's sitting on 2 aluminum bars. That's what supports the bin.
You guys have that new one that they just came out with not too long ago?
The Ultra.
I think it looks nice.
It was a little expensive, but in the realm of buying racks, everything's expensive.
True. That is true.
I think
So we got 36 tubs.
Yeah.
It's 4 by 9 high. And that's the 35 shorts. So they're 15 by 20 by 3.5.
I've heard a couple people mention the watering system. What is it that you guys don't like about it?
there isn't one.
It's
No. No, like Freedom Breeder will have the covered lines, like you can get the cover that goes over the water lines. And it just seems like this one doesn't have a good spot for the watering line. It's just tricky. They're working on it. They're trying to come up with a good idea for connecting water lines. It seems like it was really made for water bottles.
Yeah, if you want to use water bottles, the design is great.
But for us, water bottles are not practical because we are filling them up all the time. But the water line, it has to either hook onto the front grate, like front
Which is
metal
stainless
bar,
steel.
which is stainless steel. So like my first idea was like, oh, it'd be really cool if you could take it and put if you could have a magnetic clip that just holds your water line. Well, it's stainless steel, so it's not magnetic. So that went right out the window because I was going to try and see if Angel could like 3D print us something to try out. So right now we have everything. We have the water line zip tied on, but then the tricky part, which isn't that bad once you realize that you need to have the zip ties on it, is that you have to have the zip ties between the bins. Otherwise, they'll chew the zip tie really fast And then what happened to us is we had, when I first set it up, we have a pressurized water system. So like that got down to the end of the line, and one of them was able to pull the water line down and shoot it. And so they flooded their tub, and we caught it fast enough that they had only flooded their tub to the point where they were beyond return, and then had flooded like the 2 or 3 bins below them, but they were like just getting flooded. So most of them survived except for like the teeny tiny babies. But that was scary because we're like, oh my God, what if it was the one at the top of the rack instead of like the 3rd bin up or in the middle of the rack and not the end? So then Kurt went to putting 90s on the end of all of them. And then we really like worked on getting the zip ties on there and pulling the water line away from them.
Yeah. Nice. If I had a drill bit that would drill through that stainless steel, I could just put holes in there and then fasten it with zip ties.
All right.
But I don't.
Also, now it's full of Afghan softers, and I do not think they would appreciate something drilling through there. I don't think that would be the highlight of their life. Yes.
But no. There goes all the babies.
Yeah, that would be awful. They would get too stressed out and eat them all for sure. But no, you could tell we like talking about rats, huh?
Heck yeah, that's awesome. I like talking about rats too.
It's one of the biggest parts of our day.
It really is
something that
the snakes take up time, but not as much as the rodents.
True.
Look who came to see us all. Randall came. Hi, Randall.
Randall.
What up?
Randall, the Doomeril we got from you is now an insane eating machine. It's the best thing ever, but so much so that when you walk by his bin, he now strikes the front of it with an alarming force.
Oh, wow.
He's so strong.
Yeah, when with the saying "it hits different" is no joke.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
So Kurt never jumps when he feeds any of the snakes. I jump every single time, but last night when I fed the Doomeril,
his name's
jumped.
Nibbles.
Nibbles.
Nibbles got me.
He didn't really get you, but you jumped.
Right. Scared
hook training. We need to learn from you about hook training.
So we do tap twice on the bin when we feed it.
It didn't matter the other day. He was going to do whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I do imagine they hit very hard because I heard him hit the bin, and that was I was like, I don't know if I want to. Maybe you should feed him. And I was like, no, I'm going to be brave. But it made me feel good when Kurt jumped too, Will.
Yeah, it was I had the front of the bin and I could feel how hard he hit the front of the bin. I'm going, man.
But he's eating, and that's what's most important to me. Like,
I tap mine with the hook too before I reach in and grab them. Whatever. After they feel that, though, they seem like they're pretty chilled out. They do not play when they eat, though.
No, they don't. Look what he says. We have a 1.4 of adults now, 2 clutches this year, hopefully.
That's exciting.
Good, because we need a girl Doomeril. Nibbles needs a girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because it took him about 2.5 months to settle in.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then once he decided he was ready to eat, man, completely different snake.
I got both of mine already as established adults, so they were already super, cool and chilled out and used to people and whatnot.
So is Nibbles. He's just an eating machine now, which is a good thing. We're very excited.
Yeah, that is a good thing.
Billy says, what do you have as far as your rodent setup? Do you have, did you, Nate built your racks, right?
Yeah, so I have one of the old racks that we used to use for the ASFs. So it's just a homemade wooden rack, and it holds the ARS 5040 tubs. So I have a 12 stack, and then I also have a 4 stack, and right now I only use the 4.
Nice.
I don't really have enough snakes to need to fill up the whole 12 stack and stuff like that, and usually I just transfer my grow ups over there, so they'll be over there for a week or two, a little bit longer, and they get fed off. And it's cool being able to have that extra space to use for the grow ups too.
Yeah, and it also helps when you're changing bins too, because then you can have the clean bin ready and just alternate them to that bin.
Yep.
That's always nice.
Speeds it up.
Yeah.
Definitely,
instead
yeah.
of having the middleman of a bucket or something.
Mm,
So that's nice.
I was doing pretty good just feeding my own snakes just with 2 colonies of ASFs. And I got 4 that all started going now. So, and see what happens there. There should be a good amount of babies, but I also got more clutches coming in, more baby snakes to feed. So,
Yeah.
Yep. Ramp up time.
yeah.
Yeah. Start early. Then you'll be
Yep.
ready. Then the
Yep.
then your problem will be a good problem to have, and it'll just be you have too much food. Which is
Yep.
okay. Just feed everything more often.
Or freeze some for later.
Yeah. Because we all love defrosting rats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's everybody's favorite.
My
thing.
favorite. Yeah. I did it for the first time, was it last week, to feed the Doomerals because the ASFs just don't get big enough for them. So, yeah. And it was not fun. I didn't like it.
No. I don't like my arm going numb during this action, like the dangle. Like,
Waiting, yeah.
please eat it.
Yeah.
But
And then I'm not sure if my female's ever been offered a frozen thawed. She was on pre-kills when I got her.
okay.
And so that's what I had been doing. So, like, what's the difference between a pre-kill and a frozen thaw? Well, apparently there's a difference because she did not want it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like fresh.
Yeah.
They can
I've also
still-
been wondering, though, with frozen thaw, like when you get them from like one of the big suppliers, I've always wondered if those rats have had their blood drained out of them. I've learned recently that that's a thing, that people drain the blood out of the rats and sell the blood for like $30 and then
Stop.
still sell the rat as a feeder.
Oh my gosh, it's the most disgusting
That
thing
is
I've ever
insanity.
heard. That like made my arms
Yeah.
and legs go numb. Like, wow.
Apparently they use rodent blood in research of like making a lot of medicines and stuff like that. It's like they suck the blood out the rat and sell it to the pharmaceutical companies.
It's absolutely awful.
Kind of vampires are drinking rat
I don't
blood.
like that at all.
I'm gonna hit up Jesus and find out.
Exactly.
No. Like, we love our rats, and even when they go to be food, we still love them. I can't imagine draining
Yeah.
their blood out of them.
Yeah.
Ew. It takes a whole
We're
different
finding
kind
the
of
time to do that.
human being.
Yeah. Rodent
Gross.
sacrifice.
I was gonna be talking about this the whole rest of the night. Kurt's gonna find me walking around the house just shaking my head. What on earth? This is awful. I need to go out to the rats now and tell them it's going to be okay. It will not happen to them, I promise. It will not be you. Oh my gosh. Well, Will, are you going on Sophisticated Ignorance tonight?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely.
We'll hop in the chat and say hello to you.
Awesome. See you there.
This has been a lot of fun. Thank you for hanging out with us, and thanks for indulging our wanting to talk about rats for an hour.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It's a blast. We set it up months and months ago, and now it's here, which is insane.
yeah.
And now it's gone.
And now it's gone. Yeah.
But it'll always be there to catch the replay.
Yeah, it'll live on in memory. And then I think, is the auction still going? Let's see.
It is. It's still going. Yep.
Okay, so people, you got to head over to Blue Zombie Morphs and catch the rest of the auction. Support Ken.
Got anything you want to plug before we hop off?
I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody that came to watch the live and support me. I definitely appreciate it more than anybody knows. Shout out to Keys and Wiz and the whole Wiz Tang, Whiskey Bomb Network, Bomb Projects, everybody there. Again, just the amount of love and support that everybody showed me and that we all show each other. It's awesome. It's something that definitely can't be found nowhere else, no other Patreons, no other Discords, nowhere else. A lot of people promote it and say that that's what they got, but you get there and it's not there. This is more than you'd ever expect, and I love it. I'm here for every bit of it.
Same here.
100% accuracy.
It's like finding family that you got to choose, so it makes it even better.
Yep. Okay.
Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Don't forget to check Sophisticated Ignorance out on Wiz's channel tonight. And then there's a whole bunch of things going on over on Key's channel tomorrow. Got to check all of that out. You've got, oh my gosh, let's see if I can get it all. You've got Show Me Your Rack tomorrow morning on our channel. Then you've got F&A over on Keys, right? Why are you looking like?
Oh, because I'm
trying-
trying,
am I forgetting something?
I'm trying to
And
remember.
then you've got Breeding for the Future, and there might even be something else in there that I'm forgetting at this point. And Keys will write it later.
I
in
can't
the...
remember. Is Father Don show Sunday, or was that?
Oh, that's
today?
Sundays.
Yep.
Yes, can't
Everyday
forget Father Don.
Keepers.
Okay, I knew
We
I was
got the
forgetting
Sunday
something.
Sanctuary.
Yeah.
So you have a full day and night. Just start now,
Yes.
keep going, and then just don't stop. Watch YouTube. It's where you'll find
Yeah, it's a
everything.
great excuse to just watch YouTube all day.
It is.
Yeah.
And all week. There's something for you on there all the time.
Always. Yep.
Check out the Whiskey Bomb Network, people. You won't
Always.
be
Always.
disappointed. Have a wonderful night, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
The ups and downs, we stay strong in your circle, that's where we belong. Lifting each other all day long, in this family we can't go wrong.